What is up, New York Mets Nation, and welcome to the Bat Cave. I'm your host, the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry, and it's game day. Game two is today. We'll talk about game one here real quick. I wanted to get on this morning. Unfortunately, we had a good bit of wind here where I live in Pennsylvania. I guess there's a storm rolling through our front or something. But when I got home from work this morning, it was raining a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. It was fairly warm. But then a couple hours after that, it got crazy windy. It got nice and sunny, but the wind was absolutely nuts, and it got a little bit chillier. And I kind of was having some internet issues, so I just kind of dropped back and punted and figured I'd try a little bit later on before game two started and before I have to run my daughter to softball practice. So I figured I'll try now and see how everything goes. And so far, so good. It seems like everything's up and everything's running right now. So we should be able to rock here. I got a couple comments here right off the bat. We got our boy, Yuki Matsui. Yuki Matsui, watch party. Unfortunately, no. This is me with about 20 minutes to spare before I got to run my daughter to softball practice. So unfortunately, no. I'd like to do a watch party one day. I'd like to do it. I'm just a little bit unsure how it would go over with Jesus Christmas. I was watching the Kings and my favorite hockey team's the LA Kings, and they were playing the Ottawa Senators, and it was 7-7 going in overtime. Looks like the Senators won in overtime. A crazy game, absolutely nuts game, crazy game. But I'd like to do a watch party one time, just see how it goes. I see a lot of guys, they'll do it as like a split screen or something like that. I don't know if that's something they do live or they do that afterwards, like they edit it in. I'm not really sure. But I really would like to do it. I just don't, right now I don't have the time. I'd say it would be the perfect day, 4 p.m. start, 4:10 or 4:08, whatever you want to say. Start. I have the game here on my phone right now, taking a look at it, and we see Big Poppy, A-Rod, and Jeter talking here. And, Jeter picked the Dodgers in 6. Poppy picked the Dodgers in 6, and A-Rod took the Mets in 7. So that was a kiss of death right there from A-Rod. So thanks, A-Rod. But, yeah, I'd like to try that in the future sometime, a watch party. We'll see what happens, though. Yuki says, Kodai Senga kamikaze the Mets playoff hopes. You got to look at it positively. Yuki, you got to look at it the way I got to look at it. It's only game one. It was game one. I'm not a huge fan of them starting, Senga, especially with not a whole lot of work during the regular season. It didn't turn out terrible against the Phillies. He let that bomb up against Schwarber, but he had decent control. But the Phillies are an aggressive hitting team. They're a very aggressive swinging team that they'll chase. The Dodgers, not so much. There are a bunch of professional hitters there, and they'll watch. They'll take their walks, and they're not looking for the bloop and bomb. They're looking to get on base, and we seen the last night with a couple bunts, right? Playing a little bit of small ball, moving guys over in the scoring position, and it hurt us a couple times last night. So, one game does not make a series, although 9-0 does hurt a little bit. I was kind of thinking about it last night at work as I was kind of walking around meandering and trying to shake it off there, shake the big L off. And, like some people say they'd rather lose big than lose like a heartbreaker. And I understand that mentality that the way that goes sometimes. That heartbreaker can really affect you long term, whereas a blowout, you kind of, all right, whatever, just move on from it. And the way I look at it is when the Mets are down, 4, 5, 6-0, especially 6-0. You had a pretty good feeling that they weren't going to come back this time. There wasn't going to be any late inning heroics. The Dodgers had it pretty well in hand. And I feel like if the game ends 6-0, it's almost like a tiny victory for the Mets, if you ask me. Not that you're going to go in with any momentum into game 2 because we only lost 6-0. But I feel like those last few runs that Mookie Betts knocked in there with the bases loaded, a 3-run double, I think it was, I think that one hurt a little bit more. I'd rather lose 6-0 than 9-0. 9-0, it's almost like, they put your nose in it and they rub your face in it then, and now you're kind of ashamed. It's like, oh, man. But, you shake it off. We're going to see what kind of resiliency this Mets team has, and can they bounce back? And I think one of my keys to today's game is can they bounce back quick? Can they jump on the Dodgers early? Now, this is going to be, I guess what they say is a bullpen game for the Dodgers, so we'll see how it goes. Dodgers, I didn't watch a lot of Dodgers this year. I ain't gonna lie to you. I watched, if I did watch baseball, it was all Mets. Maybe a little bit of Phillies. That's because my daughter had it on TV. and I was getting ready for work or whatever. So, but it's like 95% of my baseball watching this season has been Mets. So I'm not going to lie and say I know what the Dodgers are all about. Obviously, the star power, the hitting power, the lineup the Dodgers have. Pitching wise, that seems to be their weakness. They're not very deep starting pitching wise. So going into a bullpen game today, we'll see what happens. If we can get to the bullpen, make them use a ton of pitchers. And that's one thing that I heard again yesterday is if we could have gotten to Flaherty, if you didn't watch yesterday's game, I'd be shocked if you didn't. But if you didn't, the Mets did lose 9-0, and Jack Flaherty was dominant. He looked very, very good. Our guys were trying to be patient, and then it came to the point where they're trying to make something happen, and it was just they were getting destroyed with the breaking stuff out of the zone. And he had a terrific four-seam fastball yesterday, really good. I listened to Howie Rose yesterday for a little bit, and he was saying about the knuckle curve, how awesome it was. And yeah, he had it going. Give hats off to Jack Flaherty. He had it going on. But we did have an opportunity to get to him a couple times, though, right? Fourth inning, Lindor gets a walk. They get Vientos out. They get Nimmo out. Then Pete takes a walk, and now Marte's up. And he hits one fairly hard. He hits it hard. I think it was to right field, maybe right center. Trying to remember correctly, kind of trying to visualize it. It's not really happening. And it just fell short. It died down the warning track. So we get nothing out of that. If he comes up with a nice slapper, maybe knocks in a run, that drives up the pitch count a little bit, but unfortunately nothing. Then the next inning, Jesse Winker leads off. He gets a single. That's our first hit of the ball game. Iglesias, who's after Winker yesterday, they kind of mixed the batting lineup up a little bit. I'm not really sure why. But he gets a single, and unfortunately, I'm not really 100% sure why Jesse Winker was being as aggressive on the base paths as he was. But he tries to go from first to third on a ball that wasn't really all that deep in the outfield, and he ended up getting caught up. He gets, I think, thrown out third base, if I remember correctly. And at this point, I'm listening to the game. I'm on my way to work. And actually, I was getting ready for work, so I'm just like hearing it through the TV in the background. And just, a lot of head shaking going on there. And so now there's one out, a man on first, and then the next two batters, who was it? It was Tyrone Taylor and Francisco Alvarez. I believe first pitch hitting, both of those guys. That's not going to get Flaherty out of the game. So a couple opportunities, to maybe put a run or two up, or at least drive that pitch count up on Flaherty to get him out earlier. At least the Dodgers have to dip into the bullpen a little bit sooner, maybe use more arms. That didn't happen. He won seven innings, I believe it was, and I think he gave up 2 hits. Yeah, two hits. One to Winker, I think it was, and one to Iglesias. Alvarez, he also had a hit, but I think that was against the bullpen. It just didn't happen. It wasn't the Mets' night. It was not Kodai Senga's night. Kodai Senga looked awful. And third batter, I said to my daughter, I said they got to get him out. I said, see, he doesn't have it. You can just tell. It's not like he was missing close. He was missing by a lot. He was missing very wide. He was missing very high. And, sooner or later, he's just going to groove one. And there's something I don't really notice. I don't really follow, pitch-by-pitch velocities. And, I don't remember what the hell they threw last time. And, I'm not someone that also knows a pitcher's repertoire. I'm not that deep into it. Even if I was, my memory is so poor that I'd forget what the hell they throw. I mean, obviously, Kodai Senga, we all know about the ghost fork and stuff like that. But he threw a lot of cutters yesterday. But the one thing I was listening to on the Locked On Mets podcast, Ryan Finkelstein happened to mention about the velocity being down across the board for Senga. So that's something a little bit worrisome. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do if the Mets are able to make a series out of this when it's his turn to come back up and pitch. If they go with Senga or they just go straight up Peterson. And my opinion is they should have been going straight up Peterson anyway. Why not give him a shot at it? He hasn't thrown a ton of pitches as a starting, like a starting pitcher would. He's been in relief so far through these playoffs, and he's thrown 50 pitches and I think 30 pitches. I don't know if I have it written down or not. Let me see. 40 pitches. Threw 40 pitches yesterday. So you want Peterson, if he's pitching, you want him to be able to get at least 80, 90 pitches. I don't know if he's going to have the stamina for that or not. I assume he would. You go a whole season, basically, since he came off the injury list, being a starting pitcher. And you should still be plenty stretched out to be a starting pitcher. And that's my opinion on it. I think the next time it comes up, they should just start David Peterson and maybe look at Senga maybe out of the bullpen if you're still willy-nilly on using him. Then use him. So, but unfortunately, it just was not Senga's night, and it kind of stunk to see, because he didn't look terrible against the Phillies. That home run, yes, but he kind of settled down after that. They did hit him hard, the Phillies, but it was right at people, and he almost got out of that first inning. He walked the bases loaded. He was able to get Shohei Ohtani, the leadoff batter, to ground out right away. You're like, all right, there we go. He walks the bases loaded. Then after that, and every Met fan alive is on the edge of their seat, hands in their hair, or gripping their beard like I was. And the next guy up, I can't remember who it was. He gets in the fly out to center. I'm like, all right, maybe we can get out of this. And then it was, I think it was Max Muncy. I think it was Max Muncy came up and hit a line drive to center field that drove in 2, and ended up being 2-0 after 1. So we're starting the game off now. Lindor's up. First pitch ball, looks like. Four-seam fastball. So we'll see what their approach is today. I think if they can hop on the Mets early, I feel like they have a much better chance at a win. If they're able to hop on the Dodgers early, if the Mets are able to be patient, wait for their pitches, count 1-1 against Lindor, against Brasier. So pitching today, we have Manaea going. He's 1-0 through the playoffs, 2.25 ERA, 0.92 WHIP, 12 innings pitched so far, 2-1 against Lindor, breaking ball in the dirt, slider. 9 hits, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks so far throughout this year's playoffs. Ryan Brasier, he's the relief pitcher that'll be starting for the Dodgers here in this bullpen game, whatever. I hate bullpen games. I really do. He's 1-0 in the playoffs, 4.91 ERA, 0.82 WHIP. That's in 3 2/3 innings pitched. Lindor, foul ball, down the first base line. Yeah, I am made for this, right? I mean, I don't have a face for a camera. Maybe I have a face for radio. That could be it. I could do play-by-play. I could just, the hell. Pitch, hit, left field. I could do that, right? All right. Anyway, Brasier, he only has thrown 3 2/3 innings, but they've only had one series. We've had the extra series because of the wild card. 3 hits and 2 strikeouts. The start lineup for the Mets, you have Lindor, Vientos, Nimmo, Alonso, Marte, Winker. Lindor foul back to the screen, 2-2. Marte, Winker, Iglesias, Taylor, and Alvarez. I don't like this lineup. I don't know why they dropped Iglesias all the way down to 7th in the lineup. I think they should just left him after Alonso. I don't know. Why even mess with it, right? I don't like that. Drop. Looks like another foul tip by Lindor. Staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. For the Dodgers, you have Ohtani, Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, Freeman, Will Smith. He's getting jiggy with it. Keep his wife's name out your damn mouth. Edman, they moved him up in the lineup. Max Muncy, then Kike Hernandez, and Pages is in the. I don't know if you say Pages. I don't think it's Pages. I think it's he's Latino, so I think it's probably Pages. But I'm gonna go Pages. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not 100% sure though. The 2-2 pitch coming in here from Brasier to Lindor. Another foul ball. There we go. Lindor working. He's a little bit hobbled, it looks like. I don't know. Lindor's limping a little bit. I don't know if that's his back or did he foul it off his leg. I didn't see where the foul ball went. I got a couple more comments here. Adam Glenn saying, let's go Mets. Attaboy, Adam Glenn. Welcome to the dark side, brother. Yuki says, your daughter okay after the Philly series? Yeah, she was bummed. I felt bad for her because I don't like seeing her bummed. But I did enjoy watching the other Phillies fans not happy. So Lindor, right field, deep. There we go now. There we go. That's a start. That's what I'm talking about, a fast start now. Let's go. All right. Yuki Matsui, your thoughts on Nimmo suffering plantar fascia? I didn't hear that. I didn't know that. Yeah, you know what? It's a tough injury to deal with, especially with running. So we'll see what happens with Nimmo. You definitely don't want Nimmo hobbled, especially out there in left field. And one of his decent assets is his speed. Being able to go to first and third. He doesn't steal bases, but his base running ability. Being able to go first to third or stretching it out home or whatever. Yuki Matsui did have the home run call before I did. It was up there. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? And then the pitch, Yuki, you're a little bit ahead of me. Then he says, Brasier getting bruised. All right, we got Vientos up. Take a ball outside, fastball outside. And so it's exactly what I was saying. They need to jump on the Dodgers early. I feel much better about it. If we're able to get a couple runs in the inning, kind of quiet the crowd down a little bit. Strike, bottom of the zone, a slider to Vientos, now 1-1. You feel better about it. Kind of take a little zip out of the crowd. The Dodgers are going to score runs, and it's good to get that monkey off your back. With the Dodgers, they had Vientos, line drive, right field, caught. He hit it hard. And there's a replay of the Lindor home run. Beautiful swing. That's our MVP right there. And I mentioned this on the show before. It's kind of like Frank the Tank mentioned this. I don't know if anybody else did. I know definitely Frank did. He said it's the difference between Lindor and Ohtani. I said this to my daughter. I should have put this out there first before Frank. People would have, they would have gave me credit probably. But I've been saying this to my daughter for a while since probably back when Lindor actually got hurt. They're kind of nervous as to what was going to happen to Mets. Nimmo's up down 0-1. Pitch coming in from Brasier. That fastball inside, ball 1-1. I said there were the difference between Ohtani and Lindor is if you take Ohtani off the Dodgers, that's still a playoff team. With Ohtani on there, they have 3 former MVPs. Without Ohtani, they still have 2 former MVPs, right? Ball low, slider, 2-1. He did not go. Don't even ask. He didn't go. He's not even close now. Let's go. But anyway, you take Lindor off the Mets. I'm not sure. I don't think the Mets make the playoffs. I think there's a lot of these guys probably aren't even on the team if Lindor is not on the team because he did carry Mets. Ball 3. There we go. I'm not giving the low strike. It was pretty close. It was just below the knees. 3-1 to Nimmo. Man, that is a close pitch. But just below the knees, though. That's right there. Great call, Blue. Great call, Blue. There we go. We don't need no robot umps. Foul ball, Nimmo. Full count. And they're already on the phone to the bullpen. This guy with the long hair, hairy fella. I don't know who that is. I really don't care who it is either, though. So I got a full count to Nimmo. So I'm watching it on Fox here, so I don't know where you guys are watching. You might be ahead of me. Ball 4. Here we go. Nimmo walks. You gotta love Nimmo. I love Nimmo. My little guy, his little soccer team that he's on. He's 6 years old. He's number 9. I said, now his name is Brennan. Not we have Brandon Nimmo. And I said, so you're Brennan Nimmo. So he doesn't understand what it means. He says, let's go Mets. I tell him to say, let's go Mets. So we got a runner on, 1 out. Alonso coming up here. Huge walk. Bracer needs a Brasier. I believe that's what you're saying there. That's how I'm reading it anyway. And he does. He needs a Brasier. Or the Manzier if you're a Seinfeld fan, or is it called a Bro? Which do you prefer? If you're a Seinfeld fan, do you prefer the Bro or the Manzier? I was a fan of the Manzier title. I feel like that would sell more to the male demographic that it'd be reaching out to for support up top for the man that's well endowed. Alonso, to third base, double play. God damn it. A perfect opportunity there to make it hurt a little bit more. I almost got it in the gap, though. Almost got it in the gap. A good play by a third baseman. Going to his left, turns the double play, fairly easy. But the Mets get one. Lindor with the awesome home run, big home run there to get the Mets off on the right foot. So we'll see if they can build on that. See if we can get a nice 1-2-3 inning from Sean Manaea, kind of set the tone there. But we'll see how it goes against the leadoff batter. You got Ohtani leading off. Set the tone with Ohtani. even if you have to brush him back a little bit. That's what I say. Give him some chin music. But we need Noah Syndergaard on the mound for that. That's one of the things I love about Noah Syndergaard. He wasn't afraid to do that, and he wasn't afraid to back down. The batter would be chirping or whatever, or posing, and Syndergaard's right there, ready to drop the hammer, as it were. Thor, of course, you get the little pun there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. I got to get going. What time is it here? It's 4:18. So I have a couple more minutes, actually. I ain't going to jump off right away. But like I mentioned, you have Dodgers lineup's a little bit different today, facing the lefty Manaea, but not too different. You have Pages there at the end. It was a tough day yesterday for me in sports. Me being a Raiders fan, you see that in the background. What a disgrace that shit show is. Oh my God. Then the Mets getting clobbered. It wasn't a good day. Now the Kings lost today, but it was in overtime, so they still get the point. I believe it was overtime. I didn't. It just said it was 8-7 was the final. I believe it was overtime. Let me double check here. Yeah, overtime. So they got the point for going to overtime. I would have liked to see you get that win against the Ottawa Senators. But we're focused on the Mets. I'm not worried about football right now. I'm not worried about hockey. I still want the Raiders to do well. I still want the Kings to do well. But it's all about the New York Mets. It's all about the blue and orange. And, taking this to the World Series. And I'll tell you, I forgot how good this Dodgers team is. Once I seen that lineup yesterday when I was kind of going over, it's like, oh, man, this team is definitely stacked. The Dodgers are definitely stacked. Basically 1 through 9. It's the Brewers offensively, nothing really crazy there. A lot of I don't want to say small ball, but a lot of gap to gap kind of hitters. The Phillies, a lot of big hitters, power hitters, good pop. But again, it wasn't 1 through 8 or 1 through 7. The Phillies were, say 5, 5 hitters that you really worry about. So, but these Dodgers are absolutely stacked. Yuki Matsui's all about the Bro 316. Ohtani swinging at the first pitch. That's a foul ball. First pitch sinker from Manaea. Well inside, too. I'm surprised Ohtani took a hack at that one. It had to be a couple inches inside. He stepped out and took a nice swing. The Dodgers are stacked with betting slips. Ball outside. That's a couple inches outside. Bring him inside, take him outside. That's the one thing I used to like doing when I was a catcher when I'd call a game. Go inside, outside. I was moving it around a lot. Until I could outside corner, nice pitch. Sinker outside, 92 mile an hour from Manaea. I like going inside, outside until I really got a feel for the batter, what they could and could not handle. If I felt like they were stepping out a little bit, looking to pull a ball, I'd call the pitches more outside, or some breaking stuff that start towards the middle of the plate and break outside. If I felt like they couldn't handle a fastball anywhere, I just wherever, just throw me a fastball, high, low, didn't matter. 2-2, ball outside. Way outside with the sweeper. It's going to take a lot of pitches for Manaea to get through this lineup. It's not going to be an immaculate inning by any stretch. These guys are patient hitters. 2-2 coming. Strike 3. Yeah, he got him. All right, I thought he fouled it off there for a second. Great job by Manaea. Ohtani hasn't had a great playoff so far. Again, this is only their second series, the Mets' third series. Look at that arm angle. Beautiful stuff from Manaea. That's a great shot there from Fox. That arm angle is just crazy. Wow, he was way late on that pitch, too. First pitch, Mookie Betts. Strike on the outside corner, a sweeper, 74 miles per hour. Yuki Matsui, if you're still watching, you think Shohei Ohtani let his interpreter take the fall for the whole betting thing, or strike 2? Change up to Mookie Betts. Mookie swinging on that one. Mookie Betts. And they have betting stuff up there. How about that? There you go. The 0-2 pitch, a little high on the sinker. That's the one thing. The only pitch that Senga had control of somewhat yesterday was the cutter. And it's just some of those. There we go. Strike 3 to Mookie Betts. Struck him out on a sinker. Great job there, Manaea. Looks like he might be on. I didn't know Manaea was Samoan. I did not know that. About Ohtani's betting side, I don't know, but Ohtani used wire funds to bookie. Wiring money is super hard. First pitch there to Teoscar Hernandez was a ball inside. I think wasn't Freddie Freeman batting third yesterday? I wonder why they moved him down. Foul ball for Teoscar Hernandez, makes it 1-1. Outside pitch, he fouled back. My daughter said yesterday that Francisco said about Jeff McNeil's nickname being Squirrel, and I'm not really 100% sure why they call him Squirrel. Does he look like a squirrel? Is he kind of squirrely? I don't know. It was a mullet he had for a little bit there, whatever the hell it was. She said that Francisco Alvarez should be the chipmunk. And, I kind of see that. You kind of got the chubby cheeks there. He's kind of compact like a little chipmunk. One pitch, high and outside on the sinker. 2-1 to Teoscar Hernandez. The one thing that they were talking about in last night's broadcast was Francisco Alvarez's inability this season. Ball 3, outside, and the changeup, way outside to Teoscar Hernandez, was Francisco Alvarez's inability to block the ball this year. He led the league in, I think it was pass balls. And I can't stand the way the catchers get down on their knees and stuff like that. I ball 4 to Teoscar. He walked Teoscar on 5 pitches. That pitch was way inside. And now the Met killer, Freddie Freeman's up. But I hate with the knee down. I just feel like it's so much harder for catchers to stop those balls in the dirt. I feel like there's a whole lot more breaking balls in today's game than there used to be. Pitchers are always spiking balls in the dirt, trying to get the batters to swing, especially with 2 strikes, 1-2 strikes. And Freddie Freeman, right field. That's a high fly ball to Marte, and he's out number 3. There we go. All right. Off the bat, it looked a little bit scary. The way Manaea's reaction was, I thought maybe Freeman got a hold of it there. All right. I definitely do have to go, though. Yuki says you can't wire $15 million without knowing. Bookies don't allow people $15 million bets. I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of shady stuff. That kind of makes you think that Shohei Ohtani, it was him. He knew what was going on. But you know what? I'm also the type of person that's like, innocent until proven guilty in a court of law kind of thing. There was nothing definitive that came out, like he wasn't charged or he wasn't, suspended or, I don't think Major League Baseball would suspend him if he killed somebody. That's their cash cow right now. That's their media cash cow. So, but anyway, I do believe he knew a lot more was going on. He was a larger part of whatever happened. And, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And, your first thought always comes back to Pete Rose. Shohei Ohtani gets away with it, and there's poor Pete, one of the greatest hitters of all time, that will forever serve his sentence, I believe. So, and Pete just passing away. You can't let Pete into the Hall of Fame now with him not being around to be able to enjoy it. So I do believe he'll never be in the Hall of Fame. And if he was allowed into the Hall of Fame, I just think that it would be a huge injustice / disservice to Pete Rose. And that's why I think that it just should never be. It should never be now. And we all know, every baseball fan knows that Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer. And I think for him not getting the proper recognition from Major League Baseball, the official recognition from Major League Baseball, but I do feel like there's probably some sort of solace that he had before he passed away, knowing that at least every fan, you can't like him, hate him, whatever. You cannot deny the man was not. You can't deny that he was a Hall of Famer. I mean to say you can't deny it. You like him or not, the body of work is there, So, all right. So I'm going to hop off. I have to get going here. I appreciate you guys checking it out. I will hop on tomorrow morning. Hopefully, there's no windstorms that should be an issue tomorrow morning. At least not that I know of. I didn't expect that today either. So I was trying to get on, and it was not happening. Everything was down. I mean, like, we still have power, but the internet was. I have unlimited Wi-Fi or unlimited what is that called? A data plan. So I didn't really need the Wi-Fi, but the TV was out for a little bit as well. So no, it is what it is. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. I'll hop back on and talk about Game 2. Hopefully it's a Mets win. The Dodgers going to a new pitcher, Landon Knack. Knick-knack, paddywhack. Marte hit a bone. There we go. Left field single, opposite field single for Starling Marte. Starting second inning off right here. There we go. All right. Real quick before I get out of here, quick shout out to our sponsor here. Of course, Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. You reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. He has 3 office locations conveniently located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. His office in New Jersey is located on 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. That's ball 1 to Jesse Winker outside. Office in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is located on 500 Grand Street, Suite 2900. The phone number there is 412-365-8151. And in Philadelphia, his offices are located on 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. Ball 2 to Jesse Winker outside. And the phone number there is 267-888-2980. That's Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. Let me get Big Al off my screen here. I can say goodbye. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. You can check me out on X at the Batcave OOTBS, at the Batcave OOTBS on X, on YouTube, at the Batcave _OOTBSE. That's at the Batcave _OOTBSE on YouTube. And don't forget to give a like and subscribe to Out of the Box Sports on YouTube and X. Their handle is at OOTBox Sports on YouTube and X. It's 2-1 to Jesse Winker now, and that is all I have for today. Let me get the heck out of here, bring up the ending credits, and all I got to say is let's get that win, Mets, and let's go Mets!